Hi everyone, it's Luann. I'm here with a tutorial on how to make flowers using doilies. And I'm going to try to be really quick about it and just go through all the steps without chit-chatting. But really quickly, I did want to show you guys my finished box. This is my stick pin station. I finally finished it, and the reason for the doily tutorial is because of these flowers. I was looking for a doily tutorial and I found a couple, but flowers weren't coming out the way I wanted them. I wanted them to be a little bit fuller, have more character, or not character, but more dimension. And the tutorials that I've seen, you just wrap the doily around like a 2-inch circle, so it doesn't really give it a lot of dimension or height, and I wanted something with more height. So anyway, I added these little flowers to the top of my stick pin station, and I'm going to try to tilt it without, this lid opens up and I have little compartments for my things, but okay, I'm going to try to tilt it. Hopefully they won't like get all wonky. But I added some bling to that box, and then I added a little bit of flowers to that one. So that's all I did to it, but I just really think it came out cute. Excuse me. So these are all of the flowers that I've made. I've been like on a doily flower craze, let me tell you. So I've made all of these. This was the first one that I made after I made those other two for my box, and I really love the way it came out. Like, it's really fluffy and super cute, and I'm calling this one my creme brulee because my husband thinks it looks like creme brulee. So I added a little rose from I Am Roses that I had colored with one of my homemade sprays, and then I inked the edges with, I think it was Vintage Photo, and that came out really cute. So there's that one. This was my first attempt at making a smaller one, so it came out really wonky. And this was one of my practice ones, so it's a little bit flatter, like you can tell. Like, this one has more like, I don't know, it's more uniform. This one, not so much. I have this pretty blue one with a little rose, and I have this pink one with the little centers that I made with rhinestones. So yeah, these are it, and these are the small ones, and it took me a while to perfect the small ones because I just kept messing them up. So anyway, let's get started. See how full they look? Just love how they look. And there's this one that I haven't done. You can actually, I haven't dyed any of my papers yet, so if that's something that you're going to do, if you're going to spray them or dye them, tea dye them, you know, do it before you start, because if not, you'll end up with, you know, having to ink the edges, and if you spray them when they're done, it might weigh down the paper. So what you will need are 7 to 8 doilies for the large flowers. I know it's a lot, but I think that's why I get the fullness, because I add so many of them. So let me bring out the rest of my stuff. And excuse my glue gun, it's my reliable glue gun. All of the other ones that I've had, they've broken. You know, the fine tip one, I dropped it, the nib broke. It's so funny because somebody posted a video that they dropped theirs and the nib broke, and I'm like, how do you let your glue gun drop? A day later, mine fell, and I'm like, great, that's what I get. So I bought a new one and it's not working, so I'm using that one. So 7 doilies, and I already have my others prepped. Sorry, 7 to 8 doilies. So just a quick note, at the end of this one, I will go over how to make the small one, and if you don't want to use as many doilies, I'll give you another tip on how to do that as well. So you're going to grab your doily, and you're just going to cut it down the center like that, a little bit past this midpoint right here. Just a little bit, not a lot. See? So after you do that, you're going to crumble up your doily. You're going to crumble up your doily and then open it up. And I do have my others prepped, so I will bring those out right now. Okay, so here are the other ones that I have prepped. So this will give me a total of 8. And what you will need is a 2-inch circle. So what you're going to do is, I am using these rubber fingers. My husband got me these online after I saw someone using them. Actually, they were using the spatula, this thing, which is awesome because the glue won't stick to it and it won't pull away once you hold it down for a little bit. So you won't end up with those, you know, blue spider web looking things. So I got it online, but then a couple weeks ago I saw these fingers and the mat that I cut because I accidentally cut into it at Michael's. So you're going to grab your first doily, and you're going to grab it from the top here. Actually, let me do it without this one first. So you're going to grab it from the top here, and you're just going to gather the doily. Sorry, that was the wrong side. That was the back side. And it doesn't matter if you smush it, because guess what? You've already crumpled it up. See my finger? Oh, so gross. Don't look at it. Okay, so you have this right here. You've gathered it up. And be very careful. You're going to pinch the bottom, and you're going to have this little fan right here. And the reason why I pinch it from the top and gather from the top is so that I can have an even top. Because if you don't have an even top, you end up with the flower that looks like that, all wonky. We don't want wonky. We want not perfection, but pretty close, right? Okay, so you grab your glue, and this first doily will cover 1/4 of your circle. You need 4 for your bottom layer, so each doily will cover 1/4 of your circle. So you put it down and you fan it out a little bit, and try not to squish it on the edge, just the center. Press it down on the center. And if you're worried that that some of the pieces are not glued down very well, don't worry about that so much, because we'll be adding more glue on top. Okay, so then your next doily, gather it up like that. And the reason why you want to cut a little bit past the center is because when you gather it up, the bottom won't tear. I mean, not that it matters because you won't see it, but it'll give you a little bit more what do you call it? Flexibility to gather it. Okay, so there's my next one. I'm going to add my glue to my next 1/4. And when I add the doily, that's way too much glue. I add it to this edge here, and then I fan it out. So hopefully, let me move this thing because I keep burning myself. So I'm putting it down like that, and then I fan it out, and just make sure that it's even here, because again, let me just put this wonky flower right there so you can see. That's what you don't want. You want it to be even. Okay, so that is my next one, and I'm going to put my third. Just gather it up. And I've done a lot of these flowers already, as you can see, that I've become a pro with working with this rubber finger. I hadn't really used it as much as I wanted to. And now I am. Okay, so we're going to put our third down. Again, make sure that this side is even, and you scoot your little doily butt over. Okay. And I love working with these rubber fingers because you can actually like press into the paper and you won't get burned. It's awesome. Okay, so now we're going to add our last one for the bottom. Like that. And if you want to add any feathers or pearl trim on the bottom layer or underneath the bottom layer, just attach it to your circle before you attach these layers, and that will eliminate an additional step. Like if you don't add them now or before you add your doilies, what a lot of people will do is they'll attach it to the back of the circle and then attach another circle on top, which just makes it a little bit more bulkier. So if you want to avoid that, just add your trim or your feathers onto the circle first and then your doilies. So now we are done with our first layer, and look at how round that is. Look at that. Round, wonky. Awesome. Okay, so now for our top layer, we're going to use 3. You can use 4 as well if you want it to be that much more fluffy. But I use 3 for the second layer, and if I want to add more fluff, I will add an 1/8, but as a 3rd layer. And now my computer, seriously, I can't talk today. I fell asleep. Oh, okay. Okay, that means I know when my computer snoozes that it's been 10 minutes, so I'm trying not to go too long. Okay, so that is my 1 of 3 for my second layer. So what you're going to do is you have it right here, and you're going to hold it on top, and I've pinched this right there, you can see, and I'm just going to turn it over and just snip off a little bit, like maybe 1/4 of an inch, more if you want. And basically why I'm doing that is because I'm going to add this one right underneath this edge here to give it so you can see the layer. And for this one, what I do is I add the glue directly to this piece here. You can do it this way, or you can do it by adding it to the base itself. So I'm going to put this down, and again, it's in 3rds, so make sure you cover 1/3 of the flower, like that. And only press down on the edge. As you press down on the edge, as you're gluing it down, this pops up, which helps give it dimension. There's that one. And then we're going to get our second. And you know, I've been doing these since yesterday, and I have not had any accidental tearing. Okay, that one was not even. You know, I thought that they would be really delicate and I'd be tearing them all up, but no, they've worked really well. They've held up, I should say. There, and make sure you are lining it up with the other one you've put down. First one, again, you don't want it to be wonky because the middle layer can also be wonky. Just gotta work it a little bit. And what I love about using the rubber fingers with these is if I need to fan out the paper, I can just stick my finger into the center and just twist it, and it helps the paper to fan out a little bit if I've clustered it too much in one spot. Okay, so this is going to be my last layer, or my last doily for my second layer. Whoa. And for this one, I'm actually just going to add glue to the flower itself. And there we go. That is our flower, and it is fluffy. And you can either be done right here, like that. There's your flower. And you can add a center. I have these homemade bling that I have these, and I actually have a tutorial on how I made these. I had to cut some pieces out of the tutorial because I was rambling, but I do have a tutorial on how I made these. These are actually really cute and really easy to make. Very cute. And then I also have these flourishes that I made, and you can make them the same way that I made these. Really easy, and I actually have an additional tip on that video on how to copy your favorite flourishes. So you can add this. I'm going to use a red one. You can add this as your center, like that, and you're done with it. Or you can add a flower, like I did with my other ones. I added a flower, one of my I Am Roses, or you can add a bead. You can't see that bead because it's crystal. But you can add a bead. That's a large one. Or if you want more floof, you can add another one of these. And what you'll do with this one is you're going to cut off the entire center. Just cut it off. So basically what you do is you end up with something that looks like that. And you're going to gather it. Like that. Just gather it all, just like we did the other ones. Okay, now this is a tricky part. You're going to kind of roll it into itself so that you form a little circle, so that one end connects with the other end. Just add a little bit of glue in your center. Actually, I added a lot of glue, but add a little bit. And you're going to hold it and you're just going to insert it into the center. So you insert it into the center, and you're going to have to wait for the glue to kind of dry a little bit, but just keep pressing and slowly open it up. And I'm going to use this thing, which is another rubber tool thing. And I'm just going to insert that into the center and press down, because I do still want to add bling or flower or something. There we go. It's not dry yet, but that is... I don't want to stick my finger in there because this one's a little bit fatter than that one. Okay, so that is the extra fluff for your flower. And my lighting sucks. Geez, I really need to invest in a good lamp. Okay, so that, and you can still add your gigantic pearl right in there. But these look so cute. I love how these flowers came out. Super, super, super cute. I'm so excited. And I do have doilies now in my Etsy shop. I try to be reasonably priced, as well as the shipping. So if you're interested, take a peek. I'll put a link to my Etsy shop below. So there's that. Super cute. Now I'm just going to briefly go over how to make the small ones. So basically for the small ones, you're going to cut off the center. Where's my other round one? Oh my goodness, oh, here it is. So you're going to need 3 for the bottom, and then you're going to need 2 for the top. And you can see here what I did. Let me bring out another doily. What I did for the bottom layers is I just cut off the center point right here. Oh, you can't see it. Nice, Luann. Okay, so I cut off this center right here for the bottom 3 layers. For the top 2 layers, I actually cut around this piece right here, which is just a little bit more towards the outside. So this one is narrower than this one. And that allowed me to layer them as well, so that, you know, it looks like it's a layered flower. And, you know, they gradually decrease. So I did that, and again, 3 for the bottom, 2 for the top, and if you want to add a little bit of more fluff into the center, you'll only need half of one of these. Just half. You won't need a whole one unless you want to use a whole one. So there's that. And then another way to add fluff to your flower without using so many doilies is you will get a doily, and this one I already actually have glued down. I'll just use this one. You just use a doily and you fold it in half like that, but you're not going to fold it in half exactly. You're just going to go right below it and you're going to fold it, and then once it's folded you add a little bead of glue to close these 2 shut, and then you just fan it from there. Fan it, make sure your top is even, pinch the bottom, and then you have 2 layers right there. And that's it. That's how you make the small one. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know if you guys create anything with them. Bye!